With a camera in his hand and a love for hip-hop, filmmaker Eli Jacobs-Fantauzzi travels the globe in search of artists who use rap music not only as a form of self-expression, but of empowerment. Reelblack was fortunate enough to screen his feature documentary debut, Eventos Hip Hop Cubano, as part of Season 2. Our homegirl Shivani caught up with Eli on a Brooklyn rooftop where he discussed his vision and craft.
Hi, you're tuned into Reelblack TV. I'm Shivani, joined today by Eli Jacobs-Fantauzzi with Clenched Fist Productions, director of Eventos Hip Hop Cubano, and award-winning documentarian. Welcome, Eli.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about what you do and how do you view your work?
Well, I'm a filmmaker, I'm an activist, and my style is really up close and personal. It's documentaries. I focus mostly on international documentaries, and the theme is usually surrounded about hip-hop, about how we come together as a culture internationally through hip-hop. Eventos is a documentary about hip-hop in Cuba, and it's just, you get to see rappers in their everyday life, in their context, in Cuba, the challenges they face when, there's a U.S. embargo, and just the lack of resources to produce their music, and still, on top of all of that, their message of what they want to portray to the world. When I went out to Cuba, I just saw something that other people needed to see and feel. It was fresh. It wasn't because the idea to make money. They did it because they loved the music, and that's something rare. Like, we don't see that anymore in our culture. And so I think bringing that story back and letting people see it, it reminds them of, it's not just about the money, and we love this culture, and we could do this with a message, or we could do this for a reason, or have a purpose. And I think it's a good reflection of ourselves.
Hip-hop from its early stages has been a platform for young urban voices to speak for and or against social issues. As you have traveled the globe, what trends or similarities and differences have you seen in the hip-hop culture that you've documented?
Yeah, I always say hip-hop, it's a voice for the voiceless, and it reflects the society which it comes from. So I don't think that it's a coincidence that, 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying is what blows up in America, because that goes along with what America's talking about. America represents capitalism to the fullest extent, and that's what Get Rich or Die Trying means. So that's what they promote, and that's what they push around the world. But when we look at internationally, when we look at Cuba, what does Cuba represent in the world? It represents free healthcare, free educational system, and a consciousness, a level where they know what's happening in the world, and they talk about it. So when I'm over there, they're asking me about Mumia, they're asking me about Geronimo Pratt, Mutulu Shakur, and they know the politics, they know what's happening, and a lot of our youth don't even know what's happening here in the States. And so, everywhere I've been, South Africa, Palestine, it's about what's happening in their society. And if you look at that hip-hop culture, you can get a good look at what's happening on the street level.
Esto es pasta dientes.
Will you share with us your thoughts about the Blood Diamond crisis in Africa and how the hip-hop culture here in America is feeding into that genocide?
Yes, I don't know if you know, but I created a piece about it. I call it Cash Money versus Freetown. And what I did was there's a documentary called Cry Freetown, and then I use all Cash Money videos because they came up with the term bling bling. And I use the poetry of Khalil Al-Mustafa. And, just to show that contrast of these people dying and suffering, and then for what? And so then you see these people riding with their big cars or with their bling on. So, it's definitely a serious issue that, we're buying into. And, I'm not saying that we're the creators of the problem or the conflict, but we're buying into it, and we need to stop that.
Do you see American hip-hop as the pendulum swinging back towards the conscious origins?
I definitely do. I see, history circular. I see life as circular. I see everything coming back to where it's from. with us spending all our resources on this war, it's gonna start affecting people's daily lives. And when it does that, people are gonna start to take to the streets, are gonna start talking about it in their raps, and it's gonna be reflected in the hip hop. So it'll definitely come back to that consciousness of why we're doing this. You're gonna use your voice for a purpose. I just wanna encourage people to use their art, use their voice, find out what you love to do, and use it to help create change, because these are hard times and we need a creative movement, and let's all become the change that we want to see. We need to fill these positions. You know, I was given this opportunity to go through NYU and have a master's in film, and not everybody has that opportunity. When you're on the mic and you get signed to a deal, you have that opportunity, and there's thousands of people that don't have this opportunity. So it's our position. We have to say something for those that haven't made it as far as we have. And so when we're in these positions, we have to open doors for other people. We have to say something that can speak for the rest of us.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Shivani with Reelblack TV. This is Eli Jacobs-Fantauzzi, and we're here with Clenched Fist, representing hip-hop culture.
Eventos Hip Hop Cubano is available for rental through Netflix or for purchase through Eli's website, clenchedfistproductions.com.